a window over the sink. That's what my mom always wanted. But in our two-story house in San Francisco's Sunset District, the only thing above the kitchen sink was a blank wall, which she covered with a cloth floral calendar. As a playwright, my dad took this idea of a Nisei woman wanting a window over the kitchen sink and turned it into his play, A Window for Aya. And while the play was inspired by my mom, it became a story about Aya Wakayama, a Nisei woman who not only wants a window over the sink, but a whole lot more. In the preface to A Window for Aya, my dad wrote, "Yas's and Aya's marriage is quite traditional. At least authoritarian Yas thinks so. Yet his children are free and independent, and now Aya feels the need for a life of her own." The play was first presented at the Center for Japanese American Studies conference in Northern California in July 1979. It was a time when Japanese Americans were still coming to grips with who we were, and were asking ourselves, what does having a Japanese American identity actually mean in theory and in practice? So in this context, A Window for Aya was used to generate dialogue about who we are as Japanese Americans. It delves into multiple family relationships, including a married Nisei couple and their relationships with an overbearing mother-in-law and a Hakujin son-in-law. All this and more is covered in A Window for Aya, as Aya takes a stand and finally gets what she wants. Oh, and some good news. It took a while, but my mom finally got her window over the sink. And now we present to you the online premiere of A Window for Aya, featuring Grateful Crane's real-life couple, Shaun Shimoda and Dian Kobayashi.
No paper. 7 o'clock and no paper. What the hell's the matter with that paper boy? I want my morning paper in the morning, not later when the day is half over. I've already finished my breakfast. When does that paper boy get here anyhow? Aya, what are you doing there?
I'm looking out the window.
You're what?
I'm looking out the window.
Who are you kidding?
I'm seeing the sky.
Oh, come off it, Aya. There's no window there. You're staring at a solid wall.
It's nice to see the sky.
Oh, Jesus. What's happening around here? I go to Chicago for a few days. I come back and... Aya!
What is it, Yas? You were shouting.
Well, Aya, are you okay?
Of course I'm okay. I was only pretending there's a window there.
Aya, we've been over that before.
Yes, we have.
If you have to see the sky, you can sit in the living room in front of the big window.
No!
Why not?
That's Mama's place.
Mama's place? But Mama's gone. She's been gone for 6 months now.
Oh, I meant it was Mama's place.
Are you all right, Aya?
You asked me that already. Yes, I'm all right. You're the one who's laid up.
I don't know. I go away for a few days and...
You come back with a fractured ankle.
It was an accident. I just stepped out of the taxi and I...
It's your weak ankle, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's the one I turned before. Well, how's the coffee? Is it still hot?
Oh. Yes, you want some?
Yeah. You know, you seem different, Aya.
Different?
You have a dress on, maybe that's it.
What?
I said you're dressed.
Of course I'm dressed. I always dress when I get up in the morning. You mean you never noticed?
I guess not.
For 35 years, I've been getting up to get your breakfast, and you didn't notice.
Well...
Oh, once or twice I came out in my robe, but Mama didn't like that, you know.
She didn't?
Not a bit.
Did she say so?
Not in so many words.
Well, then how'd you know?
Oh, I could tell.
I guess you two had a way of reading each other.
Yes, we did.
Did you talk at all?
Oh, yeah, we talked a lot. We were good for each other that way.
But you seemed to know without saying anything.
I was well trained to do that.
Oh?
Maybe that's why I was chosen to be your wife.
Chosen?
Yes.
That's interesting.
After all, I was only out of high school and you were a college graduate. A college graduate in those days was really something, you know. And you folks had a big nursery.
It was only a small family operation. You soon found out.
But just to own a nursery then was something. We didn't own a thing. Papa and Mama always worked for someone else. I think they even worked for your folks.
So you think Mama picked you?
Yes, I'm sure.
And here I always thought I had courted you.
That was later. 今日聞かしなさい.
Nani?
今日聞かしなさい. Didn't you ever hear that?
I guess I have.
Boy, I sure did. If I heard it once, I heard it a million times when I was growing up. It's anticipating the needs of another person. It's knowing the response even before saying something or doing something. It's reading between the lines. It's knowing how the other person's feeling.
Like getting inside the head of another person, huh?
Exactly. Your mother sure was inside mine. She always knew exactly what I was thinking.
You got along with her.
Well, I don't think I had much to do with it. Not me, Aya. I just did what was expected of me.
She wasn't an easy person to live with.
No, she wasn't.
She was a tough old gal. When Pop was alive, she helped make the decisions.
She helped you too, yes?
Oh, yeah. She had a lot to do with their company. It was her idea to send me to college. I don't know how they did it. It was during the Depression. There was no money. It was study, study, study. I wasn't so crazy about studying, but I felt I owed it to them for sending me to college. Sometimes I'd hitch a ride home and help in the nursery, and summers I did the same. She appreciates what you did.
Who?
Mama.
Oh.
Did she ever tell you?
Towards the end, she did. She didn't have to. She let me know one way or another.
The summer before my last year of college was the hardest. There was no money at all. I didn't think I could finish. But I went pear-picking in Walnut Grove. It was a scary summer. I could never get used to that 15-foot ladder. My legs would shake. They shake even now thinking about it. She liked you, Aya.
I know.
We called them windfalls.
Windfalls?
The pears we dropped. I think I dropped more than I picked.
I can't help feeling like she's still here.
They're no good, you know.
What?
The windfalls. They're bruised and brown when they ripen.
I have to tell myself she's gone. There's no one in the house but me.
Mama's gone, all right.
Haru says it was all my fault.
What's all your fault?
She says I got off on the wrong foot the first morning.
What are you talking about?
She says I should have never gotten up to get your breakfast.
Oh?
What she did was tell Norman, if you want breakfast, you get your own, and turned over and went back to sleep.
That explains why he has such a big lunch. Whenever we go out, he orders from the dinner menu and eats like a horse. It's embarrassing.
But Haru didn't live with a mother-in-law. I couldn't have your mother get your breakfast, and mine.
Oh, that's right. You used to go to work with me in those days.
And I always believed in a good breakfast.
You sure did. Something that sticks to the ribs.
Oh. Haru and Norm are going on that trip to Japan.
Japan again? We just got through looking at all their slides. Now they'll go and take a whole lot more, and we'll have to sit through them again.
It's been 5 years since their last trip.
5 years? Is that all? How can they afford to go so often?
I'm sure they can afford it. Haru wondered if we'd go with them this time. I told her that was a great idea.
Hold it, Aya.
Yes, wouldn't it be fun to go with them?
Well, not just now.
Why not? There's still time to
With the Chicago deal, you know, I can't get away. It's too crucial. I've got to see it get off the ground.
Yes, I really think we need to get away.
I know. We'll go.
When?
Sometime.
Sometime? Don't treat me like a child, Yas.
Aya, I told you I can't go now.
I know. Business comes first.
That's it.
All those years, people came first. You, the children, Mama, now business comes first.
Don't talk like that.
Where are you going, Yas?
I'm going to see if that damn paper's here now.
Just stay right there, and I'll get it for you.
Thanks.
So, how was Chicago?
Chicago?
Yes. Where you had that big deal, where you had that accident.
Oh, Chicago was great.
Was it?
Yeah. I made some good contacts. We should do $250,000 there. Now I know who I'm dealing with. They know who I am. So it was a great trip. Well, except for the accident.
You could have sent Steve.
Steve? He couldn't have handled it.
How do you know?
He doesn't know enough about the business. They would have pushed him around.
He has to start somewhere.
Well, I couldn't take a chance on a deal like that.
You know, he's bright and willing to learn.
Well, he reads a lot.
You see?
You don't learn the business from reading those artsy-fartsy magazines.
He's not your competitor, Yas. He's not someone you deal with.
I know that.
Remember, Steve's on your side.
What kind of impression would he give?
A good one, I would think.
A Hakujin representing Wakayama Nursery.
What about a Hakujin?
What do you make of a guy who's over 6 feet? Who has a beard? In fact, has hair all over, even coming out of his shirt? Who smells different? Whose English is... he talks like a Hakujin.
Well, he is Hakujin. Don't tell me you haven't been around Hakujin. What about the Hakujin you do business with? The Hakujin you play golf with?
Well, you don't want to get too close to them.
But Steve's no ordinary Hakujin. He's our son-in-law.
For how long?
What do you mean by that?
Their divorce rate is nothing to sneeze at.
You don't think the marriage will last?
Who knows?
Oh, Yas, you're not being fair.
Well, I hired him, didn't I?
You hired him because you needed a math expert to automate your company and got one in Steve, and very cheaply at that.
Steve has been compensated for what he's done.
Has he?
Steve's all right, I guess. It's just his style. He comes and goes, he sits around, chit-chats with the women, takes up their time.
The women are crazy about him. He's good for the company.
Oh, sure, you're crazy about him, too. Like a typical Nihonjin, you're falling for his blonde hair, blue eyes, long legs.
That's not true.
He also adores your Japanese cooking. You and your sukiyaki had more to do with winning him than Lily ever did.
And where were you, Dad? I noticed you were always too busy with business. You always had some deal cooking. Once in a while, when you couldn't get out of it, you were such a spoil sport. I'll take steak any day. I'm a meat and potatoes man from way back. And you never cooked the sukiyaki. The man of the house should cook the sukiyaki.
Not in this house.
Oh, well, you never carved a roast either. Thank goodness Steve's taken over that. We can have a decent sit-down dinner.
By the way, how are things going?
Where?
At the plant?
All right, I suppose.
You suppose? You mean you didn't look in on Steve?
Why should I?
Aya, don't you care about the business anymore?
Of course I care about the business.
Well, then why don't you show some concern?
I do, Yas. It's just that I'm not that involved. I think the business is in good hands. It isn't like when I was bookkeeper, foreman, cashier, secretary, coffee maker, oyatsu bringer, babysitter, and what else? You're incorporated now. You're even automated. What are you doing?
I'm going to see how things are going.
You stay right where you are. You're not going anywhere. You're supposed to stay off that foot as much as possible.
I want to see how Steve's doing.
Oh, he'll call. He'll want to know how the old man's doing.
I wouldn't count on it.
If he doesn't call, you can assume everything's okay.
Aya, I don't assume anything.
Well, you might as well resign yourself to it. You're stuck in this house for the next 2 weeks, whether you like it or not. Well, at least you have me to keep you company. That's more than I can say for myself. So we can talk for once.
I notice we've been doing a lot of that.
It's good for you, Yas. It'll give you a chance to learn about us. The rest of the Wakayama clan, remember? We do exist, you know.
Okay. So how are they, the rest of the Wakayama clan?
Well, you know about Steve and Lily. They have a baby. Our granddaughter, who's 3 now.
Yeah. And the others?
The others, they want more money.
Sounds familiar. I guess they're all right.
I just had a letter from Robert. He wants $75.
Send him a check.
But he wants $75 a month.
What?
What would he do with a mere $75? Might pay for a pair of boots or a couple nights at the ski lodge. By the way, he's taken up skiing.
Skiing? I thought he was going to school.
He says he found this fabulous place near Mount Hood.
I wish he'd finish school and get a job. I'm getting tired of supporting his lifestyle.
I think he plans to join the company.
Is that so? That's news to me. What's he studying now? French architecture?
I think it's medieval French poetry.
Medieval French poetry? What the hell pansy subject is that? We sure don't need that in our company.
Well, on the other hand, Yas, don't you deal in sentiment? It might be just the thing for the business. You know, hearts and flowers. Say it with flowers, pretty flowers and maiden air.
Oh, cut it out, Aya.
Mitzi says she needs $50.
$50 a month.
No.
That's more like it.
No, $50 a week.
50 a week? She must be kidding.
No, she isn't. She's taken an apartment, and you know how apartments are in Berkeley. Besides, there's food and other things. Oh, she has a roommate who shares expenses.
Roommate? What kind?
What do you mean, what kind?
Well, they come in all sorts of size, shape, color.
It might be a male. I think it's a male, but I'm not certain. Oh, and she has a steady boyfriend, too.
A boyfriend, in addition to the roommate who's a male.
Yes.
What the hell's going on? And you let her go ahead with this?
I wasn't consulted.
Well, have you done anything about it?
No, I only heard about it from Lily yesterday.
Well, you tell Mitzi I want to know all about this, okay?
You do? I'll try calling her.
I knew Berkeley was a kooky place, but this is absurd. What a family. A playboy up in Oregon and now this in Berkeley. What do you make of it, Aya?
What do I make of it? Why me?
Well, you're the mother.
And you're the father.
Nobody tells me anything.
Maybe you don't hear.
What's happened, Aya?
Nothing's happened, Daddy. Sure, I saw them through kindergarten and Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, brownies, Cub Scouts, open house at school, doctor and dental appointments, orthodontia, Sunday school, summer camps, Disneyland, snow trips, birthday parties, movies, baseball, basketball, and all those times, where was Daddy? Dancing classes, and where were you, Daddy? They're decent, intelligent, responsible kids. I'm not worried. Are you, Daddy?
I wish you'd stop calling me Daddy. Reminds me of diapers and baby food.
A lot you know about diapers and baby food. No wonder the kids don't go to you. They don't know you. Maybe you took one look at the babies when they were born. All you did was give them some jeans and the Wakayama name.
They should know the name from all the checks I've signed. I can't take much more of this.
Why not, Yas? You haven't heard all of it yet. You haven't heard about me, the way I live.
It's too much to sit here and not be able to move.
Ah, you're pretending to realize how confined you are. What a prison this place can be.
Prison?
Yes, 4 walls
and no window over the sink.
Yas, can't we do something about that?
Aya, we've been over that before. It's no use cutting a hole in the wall. You'll only be looking into the garage.
Then we should redo the kitchen. Move the sink.
Move the sink?
You can write it off as home improvement. Yes, improvement in the Wakayama household. Yes, you don't realize how important this is to me.
Is something the matter with you, Aya?
Why do you ask?
I get the feeling you might...
Yeah, I just might.
What?
Oh, I might do something. I
don't know about you, Aya.
No, you don't. Yes, I'm going to tell you since you've been asking. I don't feel good. I mean, I don't feel good with myself. Oh, physically there's nothing wrong. In fact, I never felt better. Maybe I should do something physical, like take up golf. I've heard enough of your lousy games. Maybe
it's not that easy, Aya.
Too bad you don't play tennis.
Yeah, I know you used to beat the fellas.
I have a feeling I could still do it. This talk is doing me good. I mean, for my ego.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because it ain't doing nothing for me.
Or I could take up running.
You mean jogging?
Yes, I read that women are better equipped to run than men.
You've been reading too many women's lib books.
No, this was in Runner's World, written by a man. Or I could take up dancing.
Disco?
No, Afro or Latin.
Stop it, Aya. All this talk about running and dancing when I can't even take a step.
It's only talk, Yas. Oh, you better write a check for the church.
Check?
Yes, a hefty one, like $5,000.
$5,000? Why so much?
To make up for all the times you missed. You're a member too, you know. Besides, I'm resigning from all committees. I'm sick and tired of being in charge of the apron booth.
Damn, the Giants lost again? They're losers.
Mama used to sit here in front of the window. She would sit for hours and hours, day after day. She liked to sit here. It was warm when the sun was out. There wasn't much to see outside. Just the sky. But the sky was important. It was important to have the sky out there so she could look inside herself. She could hardly wait to come out here. I think it was like going to a movie. To see the images projected against the sky. Reel after reel of images from her life, seen in her mind's eye.
Hello? Steve? Yeah, did you read my report? You haven't seen it yet. I wired it from Chicago early Saturday. Ah, well, there's no weekends in this business, you know. I'm okay. How'd you know? Oh, you heard from Manuel. I fractured my ankle. Pretty bad, hurts a bit. Have to stay off it for a few days. Yeah, no, you don't have to come here. Aya's here making sure I stay in this goddamn chair. Now, about the report. Yeah, it should be there on your desk. Well, ask Manuel. Yeah, I think I opened quite a market in Chicago. Now, read the report carefully, and if you have any questions, call me. I'll be right here. Oh, and you'll be hearing from the others. I wired them to call you with for details, so is everything okay? Okay. Yeah, I'll be all right. It's just that I can't get around much. I feel kind of trapped. Yeah, Steve. Okay. How do you like that? Steve already knows about my ankle, but he hasn't seen my report. Doesn't he ever come to the office on weekends?
He knows about your ankle already?
Yeah, he heard from Manuel.
Steve's concerned about you. That's why he called. You should appreciate that, Yas.
Yeah, I wish he'd show some concern for the business.
Well, everything's going all right, isn't it?
That's what he says, but I gotta see for myself.
Oh, Yas, why don't you leave everything to Steve? He knows what to do. You should give him more responsibility. Put him in charge.
In charge?
Of operations. You know he can handle it.
I don't know.
And as president of the company, you could sit back.
You know I don't like sitting. I don't like sitting here now.
Stay right where you are.
I gotta go Benjo for Christ's sake. You gonna bring me the piss pot?
Oh, don't be crude. didn't like to disturb Mama. But when I looked in on her, she was usually smiling. She would share her smile with me and say, "Sora wa utsukushii yo." The sky is beautiful. Once or twice, when I found her crying, she seemed embarrassed and said, "Gomen yo, gomen yo." Mama had had a hard life, I know, but she never dwelled on it, at least not to me. I think she was content with the way things turned out. I think she was content with herself.
Aya,
Yes?
what are you doing there?
Oh, nothing.
Have you taken over Mama's chair?
Oh. Yes, I've been thinking. Now that Steve's running the business so well, why don't we take that Japan trip?
What are you talking about? I thought we already settled that. I told you we can't go now.
Well, that makes me an expert on Japan who's never been there. After reading those books by Reischauer and Sansom, and those hours I spent listening to the Nihongo records.
Your Nihongo's okay, Aya. Don't worry about it. Maybe we'll go next year.
That's what you always say. You know, Yas, I really think we need to get away soon. We've talked about it enough. I thought for sure we'd be going this year, especially since Haru and Norm are going.
Those guys are crazy about Japan.
So am I, Yas.
Why do you want to go to Japan?
I want to find out about myself, where I come from.
Aya, you come from right here.
I know that, Yas, and I know what's right here. But I happen to think there's more to me than what's right here. At least, I want to find out.
You're going to do that by meeting a bunch of Buddha heads?
Maybe. Is there something wrong with being with your own kind?
No, I didn't mean that.
I noticed you haven't been around Nisei lately. Why? Don't you like us anymore?
Come on, Aya. You know I've been busy.
That's what I've been telling the people at church and at JACL meetings when they ask about you, and they always do. I couldn't very well say you're out golfing with your Hakujin friends on Sundays, could I?
They're business associates, acquaintances.
Whatever they are. Anyway, I'm getting tired of all the kidding I have to take. Oh, is Yas after his 10th million now? Ha ha ha.
Buddha heads are urusai. If we have to go somewhere, I'd go to Europe.
Europe?
Yeah.
What's in Europe?
Plenty. Cathedrals, for one.
Cathedrals. Why would I want to see cathedrals?
They are the monuments of Western civilization.
Please, Yas, spare me the monuments of Western civilization. I'd much rather visit the temples of Japan.
What about the formal gardens?
The gardens of Japan are the most beautiful in the world.
They're miniatures, Aya. Like everything else in Japan, miniatures.
I think I had my fill of Europe in schools.
But you haven't been there. I could show you some beautiful places.
I'm sure you can, but I'm not interested.
Well, we're not going anywhere.
No, I guess we're not.
Oh, Aya, I meant to remind you, the Rotary Club dinner is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Oh, again?
What do you mean, again? It only comes once a year. It's the big event of the year.
Maybe yours.
Well, they're planning something formal at the Hilton this year.
Hilton?
Yeah. I'll need my dark suit. Will you have it cleaned?
Your dark suit?
Yeah. Oh, and I think you should wear your kimono again.
Kimono?
Yes. You're expected to wear a kimono.
Who?
What do you mean, who?
Who expects me to wear a kimono?
Oh, the crowd. It's become a tradition.
Tradition, my eye.
Come on, Aya. You've always been the hit of the evening.
Maybe the kimono was, but not me, not Aya. Aya was buried under all that exotica, the colorful silk and sash.
What's come over you, Aya? You never complained before.
Well, I never felt like this before.
I thought you liked going to the dinner.
I just realized what a fool I've been. Padding behind you, your sukiyaki lady, for the amusement of your Rotary Club members and their wives. Well, yes. I'm not wearing the kimono. What's more, I won't be there.
You're not?
I'm not going.
Where will you be?
I'll be in Japan.
Japan?
Yes.
But we decided.
Maybe you're not going, but I am. I just decided. It occurred to me I was wasting my time trying to make you go. If you don't want to go, why should you go? But that shouldn't stop me from going. Oh, I'll be with the others, with Haru and Norm. I'll be all right.
What about me?
What about you? You'll be right here. You can fend for yourself. Oh, I'll leave instructions. How to boil water, etc.
Aya, be serious.
I am serious, Yas. Oh, I'll tell Lily you can have dinner with them. But you have to pay your way. I'm sure they don't have steaks every night. I'll remind her you like your steak medium rare.
What's happened to you, Aya?
So, you notice the change. It's the new Aya. The real Aya, maybe, who's been trapped inside all these years, but no more. And another thing, Yas, while I'm gone, I want this kitchen renovated. I want this sink moved over here. And I want a window above it. A big window. So I can see the sky.
But Aya...
Yes. A big window. So I can see the sky.
Oh! Aya! Aya!